Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through a GPP session. So I start off warming up with pogo pops. I do 30 straight and then 30 twisting. Now, whilst they're playing, I'm going to quickly clarify. Last week, I missed a few of my GPP sessions, and the reason for that was I was feeling massively overtrained and then I was sick over the weekend. So I do use my GPP sessions to auto-regulate my training. So if I am ever missing them, I should never miss a main workout unless I'm really sick. But I will be missing / altering a few GPP sessions, or maybe just doing the plyometrics, because I think that's the most important part for me. So if you missed them on the channel, that's why. Moving on to my first real plyometric is lateral plyos. Now, I know I look like some massive struggling owl trying to learn how to fly. This is not a great display of athleticism, but that is exactly why I'm training it. So for this GPP session, I have lateral plyometrics program first, which is why I'm doing these side-to-side plyometrics. Basically, one of the main reasons I'm doing this is I've been working through a knee injury and I want to get that knee more conditioned, and the forces that are applied to your body and your joints are way higher with plyometrics than with moving weights. And that's because force is mass times acceleration, and you're accelerating your body down much faster when you fall from height. So learning to absorb impacts in different directions is very important. So I'm focusing on the lateral direction here and trying to get my knees feeling good, particularly that right knee, which has been injured. And then I move on to vertical plyos here. So I'm doing box jumps because these have a little less impact. I think after my warm-up and my lateral plyos, I don't want to completely overdo the amount of impact my knee and all of my lower joints are taking. So I'm doing box jumps because that is going to reduce the impact. Obviously, I'm not falling all the way back down to the ground. I'm jumping up and then lowering myself down. So these are also there to develop explosive power. I think these will have good carryover onto the squat, just learning how to be generally more athletic, which is the whole point of GPP. If you don't know what GPP is or stands for, it's general physical preparedness. And the idea is that all sports are performed with the body, so making your body better makes you better at the sports. And whilst powerlifting is quite a hyper-focused sport, literally focusing on absolute strength, your 1-rep maxes, becoming a better, well-rounded athlete, I think, does help your powerlifting, and it's often neglected. Working on these GPP sessions will increase my work capacity as well, so that will definitely help. Moving on to the next exercise here. So it was meant to be a carry outside, but as you'll see later in the video, the weather was atrocious today. So I decided to do this substitute instead. It's sort of like a Zercher carry, but on the spot inside where it is nice and dry, because the heavens absolutely open after this exercise actually, but I didn't want to be out in the already damp. These are basically working on hips and back extension and your glutes. And when you're actually walking, it'll work on them a little better rather than just walking on the spot. But this was my substitute for today. And the idea is, as I was just talking about, building up the work capacity in those muscles, trying to make them more conditioned so that they're fitter and able to do more work in my real sessions. So on my last lower day, I did like Jefferson curls and sort of extending this same 100 kilos on this axle bar up from a bent over position to standing up to help my squat and deadlift and my back strength. But I don't just want to work on the strength. I want to make sure that my back and hips are conditioned. So then if you listen closely here, you'll hear the terrible weather I was talking about.
Only getting single digit tests, it was like
So the weather was terrible, and the reason I mention that is the gym starts leaking. If you look in the bottom left-hand screen, there's water going everywhere, so that's what I'm concerned about during this workout, and things aren't ideal. But We move on. So I decided to do suitcase carries for my next accessory. Obviously, I wasn't going to go out into that absolute monsoon. And I realized that instead of walking, actually just trying to hold it as an isometric was significantly more challenging, particularly at 50 kilos. For me, that's very hard, but I do want to work on my oblique strength. That is what you're working on here when you do it, is trying not to cave over to the side with the dumbbell. You're actually working on the opposite side, obliques, and I find that that's going to help increase my brace. So your brace is essential to all of the squat, bench and deadlift. You're trying to make your trunk, your core, as hard and stable as possible, and increasing the strength of your abs is going to help with that. And I think obliques are often neglected, whilst they are a very crucial muscle that's involved while bracing. So yeah, these were very challenging, and for the second set here, instead of doing that walk, I decided to just try and do a 30-second hold on each side. These were unbelievably challenging. I think I vastly underestimated how hard these would be. The next time you're in the gym, I do recommend trying to do these. If you're trying to train for aesthetics, the idea that you're going to make your core thicker and your waist thicker probably is true. There will probably be some hypertrophic benefit to doing this, which is going to mean that the obliques are going to be built thicker. However, for powerlifting, obviously, I don't really care about that. As you can see by my physique, I'm not trying to look pretty or anything. I'm just trying to get disgustingly strong, and I think that these are going to help with that. I was tapping my obliques there because they were tensing so hard. Yeah, definitely love doing this accessory. I was supposed to do sled drags. That was what was programmed, but obviously the weather is unbelievably atrocious. It has been throughout the whole of winter, and I haven't even bothered to buy a sled yet for these GPP sessions, because trying to find out where I'm going to do it's very hard. It should be on grass, but when it's constantly wet outside, I'm just going to carve up all the turf. So I've been doing exercises like those suitcase holds instead. They're still going to help build up GPP. So to end the session off, I did the Captain of Crush 2.5 gripper. Now this is actually the highest gripper I've ever been able to close. I'm quite proud of this. My grip strength for some reason is pretty good, and I was able to do them for triples here. I have the Captain of Crush 3. I've been unable to close it yet, and I'm hoping that just by progressively overloading the reps on this Captain of Crush 2.5, that's going to help me build up the strength to close the 3. But for those who don't know, Captains of Crush grippers are like the gold standards of grip strength, and crushing the 3 is quite hard. I think there's only been about 300 people who've ever confirmed crushed the 3. You have to like crush it and hold a card inside it. So yeah, I think being able to crush the 2.5, I'm happy with that, but I want to hit that 3. And ironically, that might be like proportional to the world's population, my best lift, my grip, even though I don't really do it. Also, just to say, when you're working on them, you're just trying to work on your crushing strength. So if you see me setting it in my hand, it's not about crushing it from the wide open position. It's about your maximal crushing strength once you're closing your fist. This is all the water that's come in. I tried to put a belt to stop the splashback from that central spot. The gym is falling in pieces, but work with what you've got. I mean, I'm lucky to have this gym anyway, particularly how practical it is, and the fact that I can film these videos for you guys in here is great. But a suboptimal day for the gym integrity itself. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, and have a great day. Yeah, sad face there.